Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
This what I tell 'em. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with the Captain's Leadership Series, Session 3. And again, just briefly, we have Captain Ogunyemi and Captain Pharms with us, and amazing leaders in the Marine Corps and doing some awesome things. And today we're going to hit on effective communication when leading. And then the other two sessions, they've given some amazing nuggets, and so excited to jump on again. And first, I just want to say thanks. Thank you guys for taking the time.
Absolutely, man. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, as always, just thanks for having me.
All right. Well, let's dive into it. The first question is, why is effective communication important when leading? And Captain Forms will let you go first on that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just keep it simple. Like, effective communication is important because if you lead the team, like, everyone has to know what's going on. Like, you have to know the why behind the mission, and you have to be able to get buy-in. And the only way you can get that buy-in is if you're able to effectively communicate, like, hey, what's the mission? What are we supposed to do? And what is everyone's part in whatever it is we're doing? And so that's just key in communicating, whether you're trying to get people to execute mission type orders or you trying to talk to them about performance review or whatever. As long as they understand the intent behind whatever the conversation is, it's important that you effectively communicate that so everybody's on the same page. So
I love it. Captain Ogunyemi, why is effective communication important?
So from my perspective, effective communication. Wait, what'd you say? You see? Hey, I looked down at y'all's faces, and y'all started like making faces and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You see, that to me, that's why effective communication is important, because you already start forming a bond. You already start forming building that relationship and starting to build that synergy to where you could like actually achieve some kind of common goal, right? So
Hold on. Wait a minute, man. Hold on. Hey, we got to get a laugh break first, okay? Captain Farms, you can take the mute off so you can laugh some too. He need to hear it.
because I didn't know what was going on.
Oh my gosh!
Hey, I just glanced back at y'all's faces. Y'all's eyes were sitting back like, oh, what's? And Captain Farms had our mouth covered. I said, uh-oh. What's going on? What is he doing? Hey, we're recording. We're live. Hey, but that just goes to show you, man.
Okay, we're back to it.
Hey, that just goes to show you exactly why effective communication is important, right? Even in that, I mean, that's a snapshot in time. I quickly as we're supposed to be talking, as we're supposed to be communicating and trying to work towards a common goal, which is, get some helpful tips. Here I am looking off from the distance and just running my mouth and all that kind of stuff. So really, from my perspective, effective communication, first of all, it connects you with people, right? So that we were able to like sit back and we're like, look at each other, make eye contact. Like we have that connection that we immediately begin to form that bond, like I alluded to earlier, to where, we can share a laugh because, now that I've used that as an example, ironically, that really wasn't effective communication, but we shared a laugh. So I guess we did have some kind of bond. So but anyway, and then the second part is effective communication connects people with your message, right? So if done effectively, I think everybody now that they've realized that I'm not crazy, they probably will understand the message that I was getting at, that, it's so important that we actually communicate effectively.
Love it, man. Love it. And I'm still laughing, by the way. Okay. That's good. Well, let's go to the second question I have for you guys. Um, I know, in order to be in the place where you are, you had to have come across some great communicators in your line of work, maybe in your family, in your growing up, to see, oh yeah, that's good. I want to incorporate that. Oh yeah, don't do that. Or, yeah, oh yeah, that's a good thing. I'm gonna put that in my, toolkit as well. What are some traits? What are some effective communication things that you guys have seen along your journey? Captain Pharms, you can start on that.
Yeah, just some examples of some effective communication that is this whenever people are just being clear and concise, like getting to the point and not spending a lot of time, trying to over communicate something or over complicate information. Like if you know your audience, then the quickest way or the best way to connect to them, and just being really clear and concise in that, and just making sure that the flow of information is there. Everyone has the information they need. Like, we're really big on asking yourself the questions like, what do I know? Who needs to know it? Have I told them? And have they acknowledged that they received the information? And so just making sure that you're very clear and you don't confuse everyone with just a whole lot of words that'll distract them from what they're supposed to be getting from the message.
Man, that is clear and concise. Right? What is it? Who needs to know it? Have I communicated that to them? And have they received it? And
yes.
I think that's a great 4-step process. Man, that's awesome that you can apply to any situation that you're in as a leader, I think. All right, Captain Ogunyemi.
Yeah. So when I thinking back on effective communication just done well, I think about the leaders that they found a way, again, as I alluded to earlier, just to find a way to connect. They sort of just connected with you and they showed you that respect. To me, that was like the biggest thing when it comes to effective communication. There has to be a mutual respect on all sides, both sides, whatever the case may be. And in our organization, when it's done the best way possible, you can have a general officer who's been in 30 plus years. You can have a sergeant major who's been in 30 plus years. But when they have that respect for you as a man or woman, then it just goes a lot further than just having respect of rank. So I think that's the biggest thing. And then secondly, one of the things that I enjoy is, like, no matter what's going on, just having that person who's able to, like Captain Pharms alluded to, just be calm and it'll be concise no matter what's going on. You just look at them and the way they start talking is just soothing. It's calming. It's no matter what chaos is going on, they're just calm within that chaos. So to me, that was like one of the biggest things. And she hit on it again. Another one was just no distractions, right? So like we did earlier, like having distractions and all those kind of things, it just they throw you off. And I give an example. We had meetings due to COVID. We were having some call-in meetings, and I couldn't figure out why in the world all these people weren't doing the things we were asking them to do. And I had another guy that came in with fresh eyes. He came in around the June timeframe when, we started around February, March. Really, March is when we started all the virtual meetings and all that stuff. And this my master sergeant, he came in and he's like, why are we doing all these virtual meetings? He did it for about a month. He's like, what are we doing? And I'm like, well, COVID and blah, blah. He was like, that's exactly why you guys aren't getting getting the results that you're asking for. It's because it's not effective. Like, you don't know what they're doing behind their computer screen or what they're doing behind their phone. You don't know what's going on. Are they taking notes? Are you even getting an opportunity to have some kind of feedback? Are you asking them leading questions? Like, what are you doing to really engage them in the conversation? And it was really an eye-opening moment for me. So I think those are just a few tips that I have for things that I've seen that done well, and when we're in dealing with effective communication.
Awesome. And the magic C word that you said in both of the answers so far is connection, right? I think for me, I think connection is synonymous with effort, right? I think when you know the people that you're leading, when they see that you're making the effort to make sure that they're taken care of, and you know the very first session that we did, you know both of y'all, you know basically said, man, I don't know about my accomplishments. I just want to take care of my people, you know, and and that builds that connection because they know without a shadow of a doubt, like you got them. You know what I'm saying? Like you got their backs. You're gonna build them up. You're gonna put them in the best situation to help them be successful. And by your actions, it builds your communication because like really you don't have to say much. You know, hey, I need you to do this. Done. You know, because they know by your actions that, oh, if they're asking me to do it, then first I know that, you know, they'll do it. You know, they ask me to do something they won't do. But then the next phase is, you know, hey, it's for a reason. And I trust that person. I'm gonna go to war for that person. Legit. You know, for that person. Right. All right. So that brings us to the third question that I have for you guys. And you know, everything that we do, every behavior that happens, there's a root of that behavior, right? And so let's dive into the root of effective communication as a leader. So, as a leader, what do you feel is at the root of the ability to have effective communication? And Captain Pharms, you hit that one.
Yeah. For me, I think the root of effective communication is really like going back to knowing your audience. Like there's no one size fits all method to how you send a message out. And you really have to know the people that you're communicating with to make sure that you're giving them that information in the most effective manner. And so, like I said before, whether that's executing some type of mission type orders or even in performance review, because I think about when, you know, if someone wants to tell me if I'm doing something right or wrong, like the best way to get a message through to me is just talk to me like a normal person. And I know in this organization, you know, if I'm doing something that's not to someone's liking, and someone wants to like yell or scream or get crazy with it to be able to try to let me know that I'm not doing something the way that they want to, that's not the best way to communicate that to me, because I'm a shut down. Like, and so it's important to know those types of things about the Marines that you lead. Like, I know that this person, like you can kind of just give this person a quick correction and they got it, but next person, you might have to explain to them in depth and give them some examples of what you want to see and guide them to where you want them to be or whatever. And you have to know that. And so like the root of it is just knowing your audience and knowing the best way to get that message through to them. There's no one size fits all method to communication.
I love that. I love that. And it's so true. And I think we touched on this before. I love that you said there's no one size fits all. And again, that goes back. Effort keeps coming up for me. You know what I'm saying? like great leaders take the time to learn the people that they're leading, each and every individual, right? So you know what their strengths are, you know what their weaknesses are, that you can help them on to be better. You know the level of communication that they need. You know, some may need that, you know, and some just say, hey, I need you to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a difference, but you don't know that if you haven't taken the time or made the effort to learn them.
Exactly.
But again, I'll say this again, when you've done that, it don't matter how you communicate because you've already shown them by your actions that your effort is amazing. They're gonna give you everything they got. You know, so you know, I don't know how to communicate that formula, but it all fits, right? All right, Captain Ogunyemi.
Hey, Chip, you hit on something where you're talking about your actions, and it reminded me of a Maxwell quote. So his leadership has less to do with position than it does with disposition. So it's just talking about those actions that you're referring to. Like it doesn't matter what your position is. We're both captains. To be honest with you, that means nothing because that's not even what leadership is about. It's about those actions that you're willing to take to really have that connection with those people that you're talking to. And speaking of actions, that was one of the things. That's why I have this book here. You know, I'm trying to be more intentional about my little background setting. So that's why I have this book here. There's one quote in here that I thought was pretty cool as I was reading through it. And it's called The Silent Language of Leaders. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to the point. Captain Pharms, I know you already told us to be concise, so I'll be real quick. It's called The Silent Language of Leaders by Carol Kinsey Goldman. And as I read through the book, I thought it was pretty interesting to read because it gave me some good nuggets. But right in the introduction, it says, did you know that when you're speaking, people will have subliminally evaluated your credibility, confidence, likability, trustworthiness in the first 7 seconds before you had a chance to deliver your well-rehearsed speech? And that's the thing that spoke to me when you're talking about that disposition, those actions. So the first thing about, effective communication, when we're talking about the root of effective communication, is really understanding like those 3 pillars. And one of those 3 pillars is just those nonverbal cues. Captain Pharms will tell you, we call it in the Marine Corps command presence. And I think that's one of the most important things. When you walk in the room, like, people should know you're in the room. They should know that you are a commander. They should know that you are a person of authority by the way you carry yourself, by the way that you communicate, by the way that you talk, you learn, how well learned you are. Those are some of those nonverbal cues. If I were to be slouched over this whole time and I was reading like this, that means a lot differently to you. That's going to read a lot differently to you than it would if I'm standing up the way I am sitting. The other 2 pillars, and I'm not going to dive into it. We already know verbal cues. We already know active listening and importance to all that. So I'm not going to dive into that. And then the third part, one thing, communication that we don't like to hit on sometimes is written. I've met people, officers, enlisted. I've met people in corporate are like, yeah, I'm just not a strong writer. Hey, listen, there's way too many things out there. There's way too many resources out there for you to be saying that you're not a strong writer, right? In our profession, a strong writer can separate whether your Marine gets promoted or whether your Marine doesn't get promoted, for a letter of recommendation, or whether it be a report that we have to write on them, an evaluation, like she alluded to, right? The difference between, like, sometimes taking care of your people could be your writing. And then your writing says a lot about you. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best writer by any stretch of the imagination, but I can tell you there's been times where I've sat at an email for, I've had an email sit there for an hour just to make sure I represent myself well, depending on how far I believe the email is going to go. And I've written documents that have had to go to headquarters Marine Corps. And before I sign my name on there, I want to make sure that this document is actually well spoken. It speaks well of me, because people are going to see my name. They're going to see Captain Pharms' name on documents and they may never meet her as a person. But they'll remember that name. They'll remember Pharms. They'll remember Lakyra Pharms. They'll remember Olaolu Ogunyemi. So it's just important to not ever forget that, written, verbal, and nonverbal are just the root, to me, the root of those, of just being an effective communicator.
Love it. Man, just some amazing gems on effective communication when leading. And so thank you guys again so much for, taking a look within, reflecting, dropping some nuggets that I think we all can take from it and use it to help us be better leaders. And yes, you guys are amazing military leaders, and we're grateful for your sacrifices, but really those are all, I think, transferable skills that as a leader you can take to any environment and be great. All right. Well, again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for taking the time to do the Captain's Leadership series, but wrapping up the 3rd session, which is effective communication when leading. And thank you guys for checking out this series. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Peace.
As always, it's a pleasure.
Go get it.